the workshop, a place where you can go to get hundreds of free blueprints for your park, so you don't actually have to put any effort into the game. And in the workshop, I've posted one thing in February, and in every video, you guys always comment, you should upload your roller coasters and
Gorla,
builds to
please
Theme
give the
Park
ID
Tycoon
for all
workshop.
these.
Please
Put those
game some of the free builds in the workshop,
please.
and I'm done. So in this video, I will be making 100 different items ranging from simple decoration to complex coasters, so that you guys can finally shut up. But anyways, enough yapping, let's get into it. Alright, so to start off, I think a really underrated category is interior furniture. So I'm gonna get started on my first item, which will be a chair. Very exciting. Gonna make it quite small. So I have the first leg, and hopefully this works. Yes. Ooh, satisfying. I'll make it all wood. Alright, and that is the first item complete out of many. Oh, this is gonna be a long video. Now it's time to get work on a table, which should actually be pretty simple because I'm just gonna use the same feet I made. I'll add a tablecloth over it. I'm also gonna try and make some silverware, which will be its own grouped item. I just now realized the knife is facing the wrong way. Make sure you know how to set your table, guys. Alright, now I wanna get work on some more bedroom type stuff. I might try and make a wardrobe, so I'll start with some feet here. Then I'm gonna add some like handles on it. I think I'm gonna go with gold because, I don't know, vintage gold. Yeah. I'm also going to make a bed, and I think I can actually use the wardrobe. So I changed the head, and this will be like a headboard. This will be like a twin-sized bed, and normally I don't use fabric, but I think here it actually turned out pretty nice. Alright, and now the first size of the bed is done. Now that is the second bed type done. I also made a little bedside table here, just copied off the wardrobe. And I think that will actually be good for the first like vintage like furniture set. That is 10 things done, not 90 more to go. This is so great. I think after every blueprint, I will make a coaster so that the video does not get boring. So I think I'll go with a mine train coaster, and I can't make it too big because if I make it big, I have to keep it under 1,000 items, and it's gonna be hard to decorate. Yeah, it's gonna be more of like a kiddie coaster. Alright, that is the layout for the mine train done. I want to go for like a canyon theme, mainly because I can make long like rocks so I don't have to go crazy. And I think I might use the snow texture because it kind of looks like sandstone. I'm crafting up some simple rocks here because I'll need them later. And I'll just craft up a little wall here. And I'm gonna use the rocks to kind of smooth out the transition. Guys. And I think over here, I want to have a little water thing, but you can't add water to blueprints, so I'll just make glacier. Wait, I just realized the glacier texture actually makes you like slide. Or am I tweaking? No, like you see, like I like keep going after I stop on this. Like it's instant. Alright, and that's about it for the walls around the coaster. I'm gonna add a floor now, just so it's not all smooth. I'm gonna see if I can add in some like palm trees or stuff. Maybe cactus. That's fine. Yeah. And I'm gonna add some custom supports out of wood here. Alright, I think these look pretty nice. And I'm also gonna add some over here. I'm gonna add a support for this little airtime hill. Oh wait, I do gotta change the colors though. Oh, okay. Alright, and that's it for the coaster. I think I did a pretty good job. And now for the second pack of decoration, I'm gonna try to make some gym equipment because that has not been done on the workshop yet. Alright, so I'm gonna start right here. And the first thing I'm gonna make is a squat rack. Don't skip leg day, guys. And I'm gonna use the new like octagon as like bolts. Alright, so I have one half of it done. I'm gonna have a pull-up bar right here, and then for the bar itself, I'll also add in the weights now. I'll use these octagons. Alright, and that is the squat rack done. Alright, now I'm gonna get work on a bench press. But it should be pretty simple. Something around this size. Alright, and now all that's left to do is add on the weight. I'm also just gonna make some dumbbells. And that was pretty simple. Now I'm just gonna make a couple different sizes. Alright, so I've made 5 different variants. This one would be like 5 pounds. This would be like a lot of pounds. I'm also gonna take the bench again, and this will be an incline bench. I'm also gonna make a couple different variants of the bench because there are different types in real life. Alright, I'm also gonna try and make some cable machines. A stack of weights will be here, and then the rope goes up to here. I'm gonna copy this because I'm gonna make a similar machine. So I think I might make something for dips. And I can use these new noodle looking pieces. Oh my god. And I'll grab the same bolts that I used. Alright, I think this looks pretty good. I'm just gonna make different sized plates so I can get so many items done at once. Alright, and that's about it for the gym blueprint. I actually really liked how this turned out. Looks pretty realistic. But yeah, on to the next coaster. Alright, now the next ride I'm gonna make is the single rail. And I actually really like the theme of this blueprint. So I also want to do a jungle theme. Shout out to Loot J for the inspiration. He made this. And I'm going to try to make this my smoothest coaster yet. All right, I've made the layout pretty smooth, but I'm going to get work on the terrain now. I'm going to make it out of ground, and I'll make an arch kind of thing with the rocks. All right, now I'm going to add in some big fat bushes. This color's nice. I wish I could go more detailed, but I got to keep it under 1,000 items. It's not my best work, guys. And I want to make this a water ride, but you can't put water in blueprints. So I think I'll make it out of these. Glacier. All right, and now that I have the water down, I need to change the color of the coaster. I might make it like a dark blue, maybe like an aqua dark teal thing. All right, this looks pretty good. I'm now gonna get work on the station, and I'm actually gonna make this accessible to guests for once. It's the first time for everything. I'm gonna use normal fences instead of custom ones. Oh my god, no way. Monumental moment, guys. I'm gonna make the roof out of planks like this, and I'm gonna change the roof to be a bit like different by changing the planks. I'm gonna add this rock around here, and I'm also gonna add some vegetation on the rocks just like the other rocks. Over here I'm gonna have a little wood piece that supports this piece of the track. Ooh, this looks cool. I actually really like this. And I'm also gonna do something similar over here. Oh, I can copy so much. Look at this. Okay, this might be more than 1,000 items, but I hope it is not. All right, I can only have like 60 more for supports, so I'm gonna try and do my best. All right, I can't get that detailed with the supports. All right, and I think that's about it for the supports. I mean, there's some spaces that aren't that supported, or I should probably fix that, yeah. All right, now I'm done with the supports. This looks a lot better. All right, I also added in some trees, and this looks pretty nice. And that is that coaster done. All right, and the next pack I want to do is like a Chinese decoration pack. So I'll start right here, and I'll make some bamboo. And I'm gonna try and make this as detailed as I can. All right, so I have a main base. This pack might just be all plants, but I don't know yet. I'm also gonna make some little leaves that will be coming off the bamboo. I'm only gonna really have it near the top because I think that's how it works in real life. All right, so that's one bamboo done, and I'm gonna make like a little pack of them. Different variants, ranging in height. I'm also gonna make these, but I'm gonna change the colors of them because I want some to be a bit dead. I removed all the leaves because these are gonna be dead. All right, the dead ones look pretty good. I'm now gonna work on a bonsai tree. These trees are pretty thick. Yeah, I need to quit YouTube. I think this looks pretty good for some branches. I might just use the normal bushes, because who doesn't love the normal bushes? I think this is a pretty good bonsai tree, although it is a bit big. Maybe it's not a bonsai tree, it's a big bonsai tree. Oh, this looks sick, dude. Ooh, I might also make a smaller version. Oh, what is happening? Guys, stop. Stop. Where'd it go? I'm so mad. What the hell? All right, now I want to make 3 different like potted plants. I'll make a little vase like this. And the kind of leaves I'll be making are kind of like pink on the edges. All right, I think that looks fine, I guess. And then there's gonna be one with a bonsai tree. I think that looks pretty cool. All right, and I think I want to make just like a couple more props. All right, and that is it for this pack. I did use some stuff from Around the World 2.0, but you guys asked for it, so it's not cheating. Also, I don't care. All right, and I think for my next ride, I want to use the pirate ship because I have a lot of ideas for this. I'm adding in these primitives as like a wall for where it doesn't touch. I'll use these low fences to get rid of the basic fences. All right, I have the queue done, and it doesn't look great now because I've not added like the vegetation around it. What? They have Roman arch. Did any of you guys know that they have this? What? This is crazy. All right, so I'm gonna get started on the, what's it called? Terrain, I guess, the rocks. All right, these are some pretty nice looking rocks. I'm gonna add in some bushes for in between the rocks. All right, I've made it a bit like sharper and it curves in more. And I'm just fixing the terrain around. All right, now I gotta change the appearance so that everything matches all nicely and amazingly. I think I might add some palm trees. I'm gonna make a little string that holds up a sign, or maybe like a skull and crossbones. I don't know. All right, and then I think that's pretty much it for this blueprint. I think it looks pretty good. And another thing I think could be pretty interesting are Legos, which also have not been done in the workshop. And I think this will actually be really useful because a lot of people like Legos. So I'm gonna make the main couple of sizes. I actually used to play with Legos a lot as a kid, and I made like marble runs. And that's actually a part of what got me into like roller coasters, because I'd make like crazy roller coaster marble runs. One of the pieces is literally just a flat block. I'm putting in so much effort, guys. All right, and now I think we're up to 75 items. But anyways, on to the next coaster. All right, guys, I got sick while recording this. This is so fun. I love life. Type RIP Gorla again. I don't care, give me engagement rate. The next coaster I'm going to make is a GCI coaster. And I don't think I'm really gonna decorate it, but I will do custom track and like custom supports. And I'm gonna keep it pretty low to the ground, because if I make it too big, I don't know if I can keep the supports under 1,000 items. The layout's done. I really hope it's smooth. And I'll make it look like an actual GCI by adding in these little wooden beams that follow the track everywhere. But that's pretty tedious, so watch this epic transition. Oh my god, I'm never making a GCI again. Dude, that took like 2 hours. That wasn't even fun. I know you think 2 hours is not that bad, but there's just nothing to do. Like you just have to place, oh my god. Well, it's time to get work on more supports. But yeah, I'm gonna make the supports here. I'm gonna keep them as minimal as possible because I know that I will not be able to keep it under 1,000 items. I mean, I think this looks a lot better now with this side done. All right, I actually have about 500 more items to turn into supports. So I think I will actually make this area for supports. Watch this epic transition. I don't know if you could really see it in the transition, but I actually added a lot. I added these little things in between. The entrance to here is good. And overall, I think the custom supports are pretty good. All right, and for the next pack, I'm thinking I might go with like a skate park, but I think I'm gonna start with some skateboards. And I'll also make some like ramps and half pipes and cool stuff like that. I used to skateboard a bit. I was not that good. Right now this is like a hoverboard. I didn't know what texture to go with it because I know the top has grip tape. Actually, I think carpet could actually work as grip tape. Tell me that's not grip tape. And there's also little bolts on it. Wish I could make these bolts smaller, but I guess not. And I can just copy the whole thing except for one of the wheels because he didn't feel like what? Why are you not there, dude? Ooh, this looks nice. That's pretty perfect. I'm now going to get work on a simple half pipe. There's gonna be a ramp on this side, and on this side, I'm gonna add a little thing. What are these even called? They're like at the edge of the ramp. All right, that is 2 items done now. I'm gonna make another type of ramp. This one will be made with wedges. I'm also gonna incorporate the black concrete elements in this one. I'm also gonna take the part of this half pipe, or not, or you're just not gonna come with it, even though I literally selected you. Okay. All right, I've made a couple different rails. I'm thinking I might make like a little stair thing. Might try to add this little cylinder piece on each step. This kind of reminds me of True Skate, a mobile game. I used to play that on my iPad. This video is just my inner child, I guess. All right, I want to make about 10 more items so that I can reach 99 items. And then the final thing will be a coaster. All right, I have everything done. I added a couple simple elements, but overall, this is really cool. I like all the skateboards. And now I will get work on the final roller coaster of the video. I'm gonna send it down and under the station at the very beginning. Now it's gonna go into the booster. Oh, that's pretty smooth. Oh! Bro, what? Did I like magically learn how to make smooth coasters? This is like my best work yet. All right, I figured out the theme that I'm gonna do for this, and it will be an underwater theme. Or maybe I won't go with an underwater theme. What about these trees? Oh, these ones. All right, you know, I think I might go with this tree design. I think this looks pretty solid, actually. I might just kind of scatter them around and then add some different ones in. I'm gonna do a different terrain style. So I actually made these out of pyramids because they actually work quite well to kind of make it look like smoother. And yeah, I'm just gonna add these pyramids all over because they make really nice terrain. I'm gonna get work on the station now. All right, so this is where the base of the station is. I'm gonna add the terrain around it. I'm gonna make the building out of logs. Gotta keep it really simple to keep it under 1,000 items. I have no idea how many items I'm at, so hopefully all is well. And I'm gonna change the roof on the top and change the sizing to make it look a bit more random. I'm gonna rotate a couple of them to make it look a bit older and also recolor them. Yeah, the entrance and exit will be over here. I'm gonna make a simple fence out of logs, and hopefully I'll have enough items to make supports. All right, so I have about 100 left for supports, so I will get work on that. So I'm gonna build up some simple supports. Alright, and then the final thing I'm going to do for this blueprint is make a little catwalk where the block breaks are. I think I might make it a little bit lighter because it looks better in contrast. And then I think that's about it for this blueprint and for the entire video. Every blueprint link is in the description. This video has taken 20 hours to make, so consider becoming a member because it really helps me a lot. But anyways, I'll see you in the next video. See ya. Shout out to my members, TRVZ, The Banana Man, DB Den, Danny Yate, or Yate, I don't know, Big Z, Kaza, Sir Nate Great, Hashtag Cream, GGG Mare 2, Skip, Lucid XP, Kosi, and Tidge.